Hi, and welcome to Bright Morning, where we teach you how to lead conversations that build connection and spark change. My name is Becky Barstein. I am one of the lead presenters here at Bright Morning. And if you ever ask yourself, could this meeting have been an email? That's actually a really great question to ask yourself. That's a discerning question. You might need a meeting if you have one of these criteria. One is that your team meeting requires live discussion time, learning, or decision making. Two is you might need a meeting if team trust, clarity, and morale is at stake. Maybe you're stepping down as a leader. Maybe there were just layoffs and this is the first meeting after. You might need a meeting if you need every single person to hear the same message and process that message and offer space to ask questions. If it's a business as usual monthly update, maybe you just need a video or an email. But if you want to actively create space for processing the information so that way people can make meaning in live time versus make meaning at a happy hour, you might need a meeting. And you might need a meeting if the team requires space to connect and build relationships. Humans are a social species, and being really intentional with cultivating this kind of trust is really critical. If you joined us for our August 2025 webinar, you know all about the 4 C's of building trust. So, a couple of frameworks to help us continue to think about the planning of the meeting. Think about these 3 P's once you've decided, yep, this can't be an email, it has to be a meeting. One is purpose. Why are we meeting? What are the outcomes that we need to achieve? The second one is thinking about process. How are you going to structure the time so it's meaningful and there's voice equity in the space? And then the people. Who really needs to be there? Are you being transparent about who's in the meeting and why they're there? This kind of transparency and honoring of people's time builds trust. So, a couple of pitfalls that you want to avoid. One is having a meeting by default. Well, it's on the calendar, so I guess we meet. It's not a compelling reason. Two is meeting without design. Sometimes people assume put smart people in a room and they'll just figure it out. But meetings without design are meetings without direction. And then the third one is meetings without, I would say, strong facilitation. Do you have a sense of where you want to go and some of the booby traps that might pop up in the meeting? Are you prepared to facilitate around that in a way that is human centered and authentic? So, a couple of moves that you can make when it comes to leading meetings that really matter. One is audit and clarify the purpose of your meeting or cancel it. Maybe you don't really need that meeting, or maybe you need to revisit the why and share that with your team. The second is making sure that you have purposeful agendas and roles in the meeting. Our agendas at Bright Morning include the what, the how, and the why, so that way no one is confused about what we're doing, how we're going to be doing it, and why we do what we do. You'll also see different roles in Bright Morning meetings, and we can guide you through that. You'll have a facilitator, you'll have a note taker, you'll also have a timekeeper, and if you'd like, you'll have a process observer. These roles can rotate to ensure that certain groups aren't doing more labor than others, but this can be a really helpful way to build skill and trust and shared ownership. You also want to make sure you facilitate in a really skillful way. Are you picking up on people's nonverbals and meta communication? Do you know what to do when you have one or two voices dominating the space? And do you know what to do when you're seeing a lot of silence in the chat or from groups? How do you facilitate for engagement in a meaningful way? So, a couple of things that I want you to remember. Meetings are the most visible sign of your leadership. How can you make sure that it matters? Make sure that when you lead these meetings, they reflect your organization's values, your mission, and really your culture. And know that it is possible to change the feel and flow and function of meetings when you build skill here. And this is actually one of the reasons why we created this transformational meeting toolkit. You'll get a number of different things from scripts to agenda templates to a reset guide, and you'll be able to use this to make your meetings truly matter. Feel free to scan the QR code or go to the link in our YouTube channel or on our website so that way you can get started in making meetings that really matter. If we haven't seen you in other webinars before, we hope that we see you in our next upcoming webinar so that way you can continue to learn with us in a number of different ways. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you soon. Have a great day.